As the world falls away, and I can't find a reason. As the world turns to gray, it's killing me unwillingly, and I am just the same as you.
Oh man. If you thought that Peruvian Puff Pepper was bad, then Sheep Throats completely tops out being the worst Megan episode of the show in general. When Drake and Josh heard noise inside the garage, they came downstairs and to notice that it was a sheep that was in their garage. And apparently, Megan bought the sheep online. Megan says that if they take care of Ba, yeah, that's really her name, but at the same time, it's really hard, difficult, so I'm just gonna call him a sheep. Well, she won't be able to put any more pranks on them for about 3 months. And they accept it. Big mistake, Drake and Josh, a really big mistake. Especially that the sheep completely destroyed their entire room, but that's not even the worst part. Because she was pregnant. The worst part is, well, the ending, but we're gonna get to that when we get to that. In the second half of this episode, the sheep is running out of control inside the house. And Dad and Mom completely didn't notice them until the very end of this episode. And when they noticed it, Drake and Josh tried to convince them that it was Megan who caused this idea by buying the sheep off the internet, but they disagree. Since it's very unlikely that a 7-year-old completely bought an animal offline. I just can't. I mean, I think this entire idea of Megan buying an animal online was to punish Drake and Josh for no reason. Here's a reason why this episode is worse than Peruvian Puff Pepper. At least in that episode, she at least had a reason to be part of the salsa contest by winning the TV. However, in this episode, he just bought an animal, and then after this episode, they never show the goat or sheep ever again. I just don't. I mean, really, this episode is nothing but to torture Drake and Josh, and that's it. I just think that Megan is only doing this because she feels like torturing Drake and Josh. This is why people don't like Megan, Sam, or any of the characters who are very aggressive. They just do things because they feel like it. And the major fact that the whole reason that she bought an animal, just because of that, is just probably one of the most ruthless and cruelest things that Megan has ever did. Especially that it made Drake and Josh grounded for 1 month. Even with the reward of completely getting prank free for 3 months isn't a good idea. Anyway, let's talk about the humor, because the humor in this is really, really weak and cliched. I can't believe I'm actually saying this on a Drake and Josh episode, but the humor in this is bad. Now, don't get me wrong, most of the jokes are really good, specifically the intruder scene where Drake and Josh beat each other up in the dark, and they didn't realize that the little goat was completely at the edge, which is actually kind of very hilarious and probably my favorite part in the entire episode. And the joke, well, Drake and Josh feel happily that Megan isn't pulling any more pranks on them for 3 months. But that was a sequence, a dream sequence. However, with the most of the jokes in this, just containing of Josh and Drake avoiding the goal from their parents. Like, there's a joke where Josh completely pulled down the car front on top of his father for about, 30 seconds or so. And there's even a joke where Josh completely throwed a coconut. Well, not really a coconut, an avocado on the lamp. I mean, I know that Josh isn't completely intelligent, but come on. How is throwing a coconut on a lamp going to solve your case? Just distract your mother, Josh. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I think it was their fault. I think it was Josh's fault that they completely didn't handle the situation a little earlier and have Drake have the animal stay in his room by himself. I just don't understand what they're trying to do with the characters in this. And this also really proves onto why that they should have never trusted Megan to begin with. In fact, even if they did, Mom and Dad might come into the room at some point. I can't even tolerate anything in this because Megan isn't even in a lot in the second half of this episode because she was at a friend's house. This episode was just bad in one of the wrong reasons. I mean, the pregnant sheep thing was just there. I mean, it pretty much explains onto why Drake and Josh's room was completely ripped apart. But other than that, this episode was just bad. Again, not as worse as Theo thought, but it's still close. I give this episode a 2.5 out of 10. By the way, at the end of this episode, when Drake and Josh found out that Megan bought a zebra, they just ignore her. Good decision, Drake and Josh. Good decision.